Hey guys, what's going on? What's up, Jeff? Oh, you're on mute, Jeff.
So, a new face. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times, but usually it's just been John running things today. But it's actually going to be, it's me and the other John, Simonelli, who's in charge of like the professional services. We're going to be doing it today. Didio is actually getting some wild dental procedure done. I don't even know.
Maybe they're taking all his teeth out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So he's going to be all sorts of drugged up. So he will not be on here today.
Yeah, I've been away for the last 10 days, so I was really, not that I'm not looking forward to seeing you, but I was really looking forward to seeing my buddy. And he's not there.
Oh, John?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all right.
Good to be back, though.
Good. Where'd you go?
I was in London, or my son lives in London.
Awesome. Catch any soccer games?
So, I'm sorry?
Catch any soccer games?
No, actually, but the NFL was there 2 Sundays.
Oh,
wait,
that's
I
right.
left on a Sunday, and the NFL was there. Last Sunday, the NFL was there, but I otherwise engaged. No, I didn't see any good soccer games. I'm going back for Christmas. I'm going to see some rugby stuff, though.
Oh, awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be different.
What part of London is he in?
Well, he lives in the canal.
Oh,
There's a canal system, and they have these narrow boats, so it's like a 62-foot long boat, but it's only about 8 feet wide.
Cool.
Maybe 60. So it's pretty narrow. But, you know, the whole canal is built for these boats. They're either double wide, like 12 feet wide, but or 6 or 8 feet. It's kind of cool.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes, guys, just for some more people to hop on. Get started around 1:20-ish.
So what are we talking about today?
It's completely up to you guys. I know John Simonelli has some things that he wants to talk about, whether that's in regards to the actual marketing hub or anything in regards to the objections you guys are getting, any sort of situational things you guys are coming across that, you know, we could possibly help you with, whatever you guys want to speak about. There he is, Johnny Cold Call. Johnny Cold Call.
In the house. How are we looking today, Mike? Looks like we got a full house on here today. Perfect.
So far.
Quite a few different people. All right.
Why is mine saying nine participants? Is that what you're showing?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, not really a full house.
Well, I was gonna say, I usually only talk to 1 to 2 people at a time. Talking to 9's a lot more than I'm used to. So.
Oh wait, so it says 9 participants. Does that mean the 2 of you were counted in that number?
Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, we have 7 agents and 2 of us.
I guess everybody must be experts. You know, the last couple of weeks that are not doing it.
I was gonna say they must be. Granted, I know not everybody can be available every day, but we always encourage it if you can be. It's never gonna hurt.
I'm Jeff, and I said I just got back. I was away for 10 days, so I'm getting back into the swing.
Got it. And Jeff, for your database there, what type of cold calls and what type of calls in general are you making to the different types of leads?
Unfortunately, I haven't been around to make any phone calls. I was in London, so kind of hard to be making phone calls and following up with people.
Oh, absolutely. That time change is going to be pretty brutal there. But if we were
But
just
what have
looking
I
at,
done in the past? What I've done is a lot of FISBOs. I didn't really get into expireds too much, but I think I'm going to be looking at that, and I'm going to start taking a look at some more pre-foreclosure leads. I still think we're going to see a rash of foreclosures. You know, still 290,000 people filed for unemployment benefits last month or
yeah,
last weekend. So
I was going to
still
say when
tenuous.
you, I saw a statistic recently, and then maybe I know different markets are, well, everybody's got a little bit of a different perspective on it, but I heard about 3% of the entire nation is not going to be able to afford their mortgage payments once those unemployment benefits run out, which means there's going to be a
Well,
lot of pre-foreclosures and a lot of people looking to either A, refinance, or B, maybe downsize the home.
it was interesting. I got an email from my mortgage company today saying that they're taking mine. They said mine was selected. I don't know. I just did a refi through them probably about a year ago. So they're talking about paying for the cost of the refi at $1,500 and lowering my interest rate. My interest rate's 3 right now. I'm curious if they have to offer me.
Well, hey, if they're willing to pay you interest on the loan that you have with them, then hey, that's the only thing I could think of that would make sense. But I don't know.
The
I know.
interesting thing is, I always thought that there was going to be a problem with the millennials affording housing, and now I read an article today that basically they're joining forces, right? Friends, relatives, family members buying houses that way. They can't afford it. And then that Goldman Sachs just wrote, I guess it was last week. Goldman Sachs is forecasting home prices to go up 16% next year and about 4.5 to 5% the next year. So I don't know how I follow their information. That's going to take really make it really difficult for people to buy because the interest rates are going to go up and their affordability is going to go down. The good news is that there's like 30% more inventory on the market now than there was when this craziness started. So
Absolutely. And something we've seen in our local area here, and I'd love to hear from feedback, anybody else on there. We've been seeing a lot of neighborhoods that in the past were undesirable, maybe more of centrally located in the city, some of the potentially lower income homes, nice older houses, but not the newer suburbs that everyone's trying to move to, selling for a pretty decent price, more towards the average of the city. And that's where the majority of our millennials, our college, our recently pretty much 25 to 35-year-old groups are all moving to those neighborhoods. And we're actually starting to see the neighborhoods flip from more of the low income, less desirable to now they're more of the trendy / cooler areas of town. And it's been over the course of a few years, but since housing in the more desirable areas is so incredibly expensive, the millennial crew are all buying houses in just some of the areas that a lot of people wouldn't normally consider. And I was curious, are you guys running into that yourselves? Is there areas that weren't desirable before that are now turning into hot spots for buying and selling homes?
not in my area per se, but in the county probably so. But I think those areas people are using a lot of 203K loans and making, borrowing enough money to make these homes really nice. So, and that's what I'd be talking to people about if I was talking to a first-time home buyer or move-up buyer.
And then Diane, I see you have your camera on today. Is there a certain type of a lead you wanted to talk through with us today? Get any kind of insights on any type of prospecting there, or anything in particular you wanted to cover?
Yeah, the geo leads. So I have a whole bunch of geo leads and I don't know what to do with them. So I have ZBuyer, and for this month I just started ZBuyer and I like it. I've called I've called all the new ones that they've given me. And I've been sifting through the old ones, and I have 6 maybes and 1 appointment on Saturday. So it's working if I call them. But the geo leads are just people who have been in their house and they're not receptive to my same conversation that I start off with ZBuyer. So ZBuyer people have been going great. In fact, most of them talk to me, which is awesome because no one's calling them.
Got it.
Interesting. So
I was
what's
gonna say-
the intro language that you're using for how do they differ, I guess, from the Geo to the Z buyer? Because I guess in essence they are primarily the same thing, but I guess one is somewhat motivated, the other one really is just a shot in the dark. So I'm just curious what your language is when you approach those.
Okay, so Z buyer, they've raised their hand that they want a cash offer.
Right.
So I say, hi, this is Diane. I'm with Caldwell Banker. And I say, I'm a realtor. And then I just hesitate for a second. And I said, hey, I just want to tell you, you clicked a link on Facebook talking about that you were interested in either knowing the price of your house or buying or selling. And wanted to know if you were still thinking about that. And I just leave it open. And then the one said, well, I only clicked it for my friend. Other times I say, well, I was just curious. And I'm like, okay, just curious about the price. I'm like, listen, tell me whatever it is. So I go at it like I'm their friend. And so the one was like, well, I want to sell, but I want to do it in 6 months. I was like, okay, well, tell me what that looks like to you. So in 6 months, are you fixing the house? And we start down that road. My geo leads, I call them and I'm like, hey, Bob, whatever it is. Hey, my name's Diane. I'm a local realtor in the area. And sometimes I'll say the house down the street sold, or I had the buyer for the house around the corner. Would you be interested in, listing your house, or have you ever thought about moving? Or, I've tried all those different lines and they hang up on me. So,
Interesting.
so geos just hang up. They're useless to me. I've sent emails. I tried text messaging. They're like, who's this? I feel like on the lion desk, we don't have a good conversation. I started the one where it's like, can we talk? And I think the guy thought I wanted to say something inappropriate, because well, hey, let's talk. And it was like, oh, no. So the geos aren't interested, and I don't know how to get them to have a conversation with me. Where the Z buyer, the one guy was like, send me your card when you seem very nice. When I die, I'll tell my brother to use you. And it was like, I think I did well.
Man.
I made a friend. Actually, he's an old
man.
football player. Billy Holiday played for the Raiders in 1940 or something. I mean,
Wow.
it was an interesting guy, but it was like, I don't want your business. Give me a referral.
Gotcha.
Well, and that's the other thing that you can do is say, who do you know who might be looking to, move? So what I was thinking, is there a way with the geo leads to look at when they bought their house? If we're looking at statistics, people move every 5 to 7 years. Is there a way to approach it that way and just looking at the ones that have been there for a while?
Well, I think that's why they are our geo leads, because they've been sitting there for a while, and you could look that up. It would just be I can look
So
up.
it's not on the
It's not on what you're getting. You're just getting the name, the address, the phone number.
You're right.
So when I'm briefly calling, the difference between geo leads and Z buyers is what we've been running into as of late, is we've been trying to devalue the cash offer and build value in the home assessment when it comes to Z buyer. And as far as the geos go, we've kind of just been leaving it very open-ended from the start. And then as we proceed down, because I have two monitors here, and I usually look up the address at the same time so I can get into that conversation about the home as to when they last purchased it. So if you can open up that box, and talk to them about, let's say you bought it in 2008. I mean, I see there's about three bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Is that still accurate, or did you do some upgrades to the property? So it's just getting into certain little conversation bits like that. You can open up to see why they maybe even potentially selling. So there's an intro that we actually use for the geo leads that we've been having some success with. It usually just goes, my name's Mike. I was just trying to reach the owner of 123 Main Street. And then whoever wants to answer, I'm just going to role play the intro.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's me. What do you want?
Okay, great. Yeah, I was actually just reaching out with the Key Realty Group. It might be a shot in the dark here, but we actually sold a couple properties in your area as of late, and I'm sure you've seen homes anywhere in the area selling from 10 to 50,000 above asking price. So I was just curious if this was your forever home, or if you ever had plans to upsize or even downsize in the future if you were to get an above market offer. And usually you'll get all kinds of answers after that. Like, yeah, me and my wife were just kind of, briefly talking about it last night, thinking about moving down south. Or you'll get people saying, well, yeah, everything's for sale, So
Or
if you
I'm
can,
gonna die in this house.
yeah, or that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get a lot of we're dying here. Yeah, that's a popular one. They're dying here. I'm a destination where you retire. So that
Gotcha.
works against me because the one guy, he's so nice, but I can't move him to a smaller place because it's going to be the same price. And we really don't have retirement places here. You're it. You're in it. This is God's waiting room.
Well, what I've always found, and can you guys see my screen over here with the sales funnel on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we pretty much prioritize our prospecting around. And we break it up into 3 different categories, A, B, and C list. And we always suggest when agents are coming on board to look at your own database and see if we can start identifying different groups. Geographical leads, as great as they may be, they do have a very, very long nurture time. The reason for that is, for the most part, they've probably never heard of you before. They might have seen a sign in the yard, but they definitely don't know you on a first name basis. They need a lot of nurturing, love, and attention before they're generally open-minded to having any kind of real conversation. A way that we can help prioritize geographical leads over, well, calling somebody else on either your A list or your B list would be inside of your CRM system. If you're utilizing the Lion Desk, our version of it, or even some other third party, we always suggest that if you're going to be calling any geo leads, call people that are actively engaging with your marketing, because we can provide pretty much unlimited amounts of geographical leads, but that doesn't mean that they're all ready to have a conversation with you. It's the equivalent of picking up a phone book and just picking a name out of it. I mean, I think I might not look like it, but I'm old enough. I've had to do that before and just go down, start at the A's, end at the Z's. Doesn't always work. So what we always suggest is utilizing the digital marketing for people that we don't know as well. Because if someone's opening an email that has the subject line, secrets to selling your home, that's always going to be a lot warmer of a call than someone who has never heard of you before or has no idea why you might be reaching out. So that's always how we've prioritized in our system here, is if we're going to be calling 1 to 2 hours a day, we want to make sure those 1 to 2 hours are the most productive they can possibly be. So inside of the system, looking at who has clicked on, who has watched, who's interacted with an email or a text message we've sent, is how we prioritize our geo leads, because really before they start interacting with the marketing, they might as well just be a name out of the phone book. But the more emails they click, the more social media that they interact with, the more different channels of marketing that they're aware of, the warmer and warmer that call becomes. And as you can see in the B list section, our pay-per-click, our Facebook ads, those are going to be where your Z buyers are. Those are generally who we would prioritize more than geographical, because they're going to be way, way, way further down the sales funnel and way more open to a conversation about actually doing a transaction with you. And then even before them, our A list is generally going to be your sphere of influence, your platform leads, people who are specifically submitting their information online saying, I want to sell a house. They're pretty much ready to go immediately. So I would say if you're having a hard time with the geographical leads, it's not always the scripting that you're using. It's just the way that we can vet out who to call first is usually the biggest obstacle we work through before anything else. So I would say, Dan, do you have any campaigns running to them right now? Any kind of emails or text messages? I know you referenced it a little bit.
Yeah, there was just a certain text format here. I can pull it up that I sent out last week to, I believe it was to sold.com leads. Do you guys use those leads at all? Those lead sources?
What is it? Sold.com?
Sold.com. Do you guys use that at all? It's pretty much just the same as like a home light or like a Z buyer. Let's see, let me find
No, I actually called realtor.com and they offered me, I think it's $300 for my zip code, that every time somebody does a search, I'll be on the top right as the agent in the side. And I was trying to decide if I thought that was worth it, because you have to sign up for, a long contract.
Well, something you can also keep in mind is inside of a few different systems, like the Lion Desk system being one of them, you can do, utilizing the geographical leads, you can do a retargeting campaign where what it will do is whenever they do a search online, regardless if it's real estate related or not, you will pop up in front of them. Your ad will go onto more than 250 different websites, everything from CNN to the Weather Channel to pretty much any major website that's owned by Google or has an affiliate with them. And that's only, you can usually do them for about $75 to $100 a month. And you'll have a lot more of a refined down audience because it's actually people that are in your database from the areas you want to do more business in. And it's going to be a little bit of legwork to get set up. It usually takes 10 to 15 minutes to do. But at that point, you can greatly reduce your cost and there's no contract with it whatsoever. It's all pay as you go, similar to ZBuyer, where you're just running your own ad like that. And when you do it yourself versus relying on a third party like Realtor, your cost is so much lower because you're not paying for a marketing person to do it for you and paying their salary on top of your actual ad spend.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay.
talk about that further? I
Sure.
don't know if there's anything to talk about any further than you just did. But,
Jeff, you
that
sound
sounds pretty
intrigued.
attractive. So you were just
So-
suggesting putting your own ads together, but what's the platform you're going to use to display the ad? Facebook?
So let me do
No,
this.
Lion
Maybe
Desk.
I'm missing.
Inside of here, if you guys can see my screen, this is just an account I was recently just in. All of you have the feature right here for marketing on the left-hand side. This will allow you to go to the Lion Desk ad portal, where if you click design your ad, inside of here, you can create your own. And with a couple of clicks, and it'll prompt you what information it's looking for. So it's going to take a moment to load up here. You just fill in this basic information right here. It defaults to $99 a month, which is your entire ad spend. Nothing gets sent to an administrator. There's no admin fees. It's purely going to make sure people see your ads. And then down here at the bottom, it has a list of the different areas that it will be displayed on. HGTV, Realtor, Instagram, Facebook, The Times, Google, Weather Channel, CNN. Technically, it's thousands more. I always say hundreds because in reality, most people don't go to thousands of websites. They go to 10 to 15. But what this will do is give you the exact same experience of having a realtor.com ad, just it will not be limited to just a zip code, and it would be more specifically targeted to people inside of your database. And the way you would do that is down here, you can upload your contacts directly from your database. And what it will do is if they have a cell phone number or an email address that is associated anywhere online with any of these websites, it will automatically put a picture of you and or whatever your promotion is with all of the information directly in front of them. And the more they interact with it, the more they click on it, the more frequently it puts it in there. What this does is help grow your brand online. Usually for the price of $99, you're looking at between 8,000 to 12,000 impressions. Impressions means that it shows up in between 8 to 12,000 people's news feed. And pretty much what that does is if you're in front of 8 to 12,000 people in a smaller geographical area consistently, when you do make those geographical phone calls, hey, just wanted to see if you're interested in selling your home. Oh, you're that person I keep seeing on Facebook. You're that person I keep seeing on Instagram. It's a little bit of that warmer touch. Plus, if you're sending them emails, you're sending them text messages, all of a sudden they're much, much, much more familiar with your brand before it's just, hey, I'm a random person over the phone that wants to try to sell your house.
So
It's a really good way to warm up the leads.
I'm sorry. So how long do you think it would actually take to build up the traffic enough where you're actually getting some traction with these people?
Usually we do about 30 days. It really depends if you've run any before though. In the first 3 to 5 days, you'll probably see between 4 to 10,000 interactions. So you'll be in front of 4 to 10,000 people in the first 4 to 7 days. After that, it slows down a little bit because you'll start being in more people over and over and over again. You'll have those repeat business, those repeat clicks, which is more important because you want to make sure you're getting in front of the same people multiple times. Pretty much you have to touch them 8 to 12 times before you see conversion. That's our formula. If you reach out to someone 8 to 12 times, chances are they're going to be open to a conversation with you. So you'll see probably within the first 2 weeks at the very most, a tangible result from the system and thousands of people seeing your ad online and interacting with your brand.
Do we have suggested ad text?
So
for
we
different
actually can,
scenarios?
on the dashboard here, Inside of the marketing toolkit, which all of you will have access to and or already do have access to, we actually have pre-made templates that you can just copy and paste whatever information is most relevant to you directly into the ad portal here. So really all we need to do is just have you fill in the blanks, and all of the content, all of the strategies, all of the leads, the geographical leads, or even leads from your database are already there. And the reason we can do it for such a reduced cost, instead of $300 a zip code, we can do it for about 99 is because if you're doing it yourself, you're not paying my salary, you're not paying Mike's salary, you're not paying somebody else. You're just spending your money, investing it directly into your business without having to rely on other people as well.
So what you're saying is it's best to pick one zip code and spend the $99 on one particular.
I always like to start out with one zip code, and you can actually even reduce it down a little bit further. So if it's a city area, you can do that. If it's a certain neighborhood, you can do that as well. I've always believed that doing a smaller area is going to make more of a difference than spreading yourself too wide, only because if you're looking at between 8 to 12,000 interactions, 8 to 12,000 interactions within a zip code is great. 8 to 12,000 interactions between 10 zip codes, it's going to take a lot longer, and there's going to be a lot more of a build-up time before you start getting the traction you would from that one specific place. That's not saying you couldn't run 3 different ads in 3 different zip codes and kind of get more pulls in the water. But what we always suggest is for one campaign to get set up first, just to start getting that traction. We've seen it that for a singular agent, it really fills your pipeline nicely on a daily basis. 3 to 5 people interacting on a daily basis give you 3 to 5 people to reach out to and have a conversation with. We're not trying to overwhelm you with 50 to 75 to 100 people a day of, hey, we got to call every single one of these. We'd rather have 3 to 5 people who are genuinely interested and point you in the direction of, hey, we should call these people here.
So if it's geo leads, and I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions, my memory isn't that good. So if it's geo leads, can we pull those somehow by zip code?
Yes.
You know, when you get the whole, okay. All right.
Yep. That's also on the dashboard there for the Ren Geo. All you have to do is type in your zip code and it'll pull everybody from right inside of there.
Okay. So one last question. Is there a tutorial on the best ways to use LionDesk?
I actually am glad you asked. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern time, we are hosting what we call an open tech training, where myself and my team are going to be available for whatever questions you have. If it's about LionDesk, if it's about lead generation, if it's about hooking up an API connection from one system to another, we're going to be available from 11:15 to 12:15, more like 11 to 12. Tomorrow, it's in the exact same place that this meeting takes precedence. So you can see it right here on the marketing calendar. So if you're interested in running one of these ads, learning a little bit more, asking questions about any of the systems provided, we will be available right then and there to sit down and actually do one-on-ones or even a group walkthrough of all the features. And if you need help on top of that, rensupport.com, we can do a one-on-one training call with you and or provide over some training materials to make sure you're getting off to a fast start as well.
Okay, but they don't have a specific tutorial on how to use, not that I won't be on the call tomorrow, I will. Is there a tutorial on LionDesk?
Yes. So inside of the Ren Academy here, we have a 1 to 4 month tech training and marketing secrets. And once you log into this area, we have a video training for every single avenue of the system, regardless of what level you are on. So right here, this is an introduction to the blueprint, pretty much what we suggest doing on a daily basis. But what you would be looking for is more on the services side. And that's going to be down here. We have a variety of different training videos all around the actual LionDesk system and the different pieces of it. All of them are right inside of these different trainings. So all of them would be in here to be able to help you along the way.
I'm glad I asked these questions because now I can see a little bit more on how to use the dashboard.
Definitely. And I was going to say, if you're newer to the system, this dashboard is going to point you in the direction of pretty much everything you need to use. That was the whole idea when we designed it, is how do we have agents log into one location and then have access to everything they need instead of logging into 10 locations to get access to it all. So right here, you can log directly into the marketing hub. You can access your geo leads. You've got the playbook, which has the outline of everything you'd ever need. You've got the Sales Academy, which is literally just a video version of the playbook. And then down here, we have video trainings, marketing pieces, and then all of our supporting applications for pretty much any situation you can think of. You would have access to different tools like that as well.
Sure.
And then, Dan, did I see you raising your hand there?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. So can I just have the CRM, this Lion, and not the, like, can you have one without the other?
Technically, yes. Our lowest package here, you do get access to the CRM as well as to the toolkit. And then really, we want to make sure we're giving you all of the tools to be successful. We're not a CRM company. We're a marketing and sales company, and with technology on the side. So in order to implement our sales and marketing plan, we want to make sure we're giving you the tools to do so. The reason we've partnered with LionDesk, aka what we call Marketing Hub, is because we've customized it with every tool you'd ever need to execute every piece of our sales and marketing plan. So we're not going to ask you to sign up to like 3 other companies after you sign up to this one. Every tool you need is in one place, ready to use, ready to go.
One last question about the Marketing Hub.
Mhm.
If we, I'm sure I'm going to subscribe to the portal. If we were to ever stop paying for it, do we lose access to LionDesk?
You would only lose access, yes, to the actual system itself. You would not lose access to leads, and nothing would be taken away from you, anything like that. But pretty much it's just a subscription service like anything else. As long as you pay for it, it'll always be there. It's not like it's going to ever disappear on you. It is just a add-on to us. So as long as you're with us, it'll always be available to you. But really, at the end of the day, all of our marketing is agnostic to any CRM. If you guys have like a Salesforce or KV Core or Boomtown, and you're like, I can do everything that this system needs to do, absolutely feel free to implement it there. What we do request though is if we're going to implement 80% of the marketing plan and leave 20% off, we're going to get 80% of the desired results. So all we would say is if you're not willing to use our system or you don't want to use our CRM system, just be open-minded to the idea that the reason we partnered with them in the first place is they give you everything. And if we meal piece any part of the marketing plan, it's just going to hurt our conversion rate down the road, because it's really like we are building a foundation for your business, and one piece missing from a foundation, it causes a lot of issues down the road. So I would say at the end of the day, you can sign up to one piece without the others, but our baseline package, our cheapest ground level service, provides you with every tool with a do-it-yourself mindset to be able to execute on every single piece of this. And if you want more help executing on it, then we have packages where we'll pretty much do 85 to 90% of it for you. But of course, you're paying for someone to actually go in there and do that along the way. But at the end of the day, regardless of what package you're on, you'll be able to jump in here and execute on all of the different pieces yourselves.
Great.
I think I have fallen through the cracks. So that's why I asked that question, because I'm on my 1 month free.
Mm-hmm.
And I've emailed my person. Maybe they don't work there anymore. I don't know. Kind of raising my hand, asking for help. And I was supposed to have like a month of that drunk social or the social.
Mm-hmm.
I never got the app. I didn't download it. I don't know what to do with Red X. I missed I had an appointment. I got the listing, but I couldn't be there to listen to Red X of how to do Red X as a single agent. I thought Red X was supposed to call me. I sat here at the computer. They didn't call me. I realized I was supposed to call them. I asked to reschedule it twice and I get nothing back. And so I feel like I like LionDesk and I like the idea of you guys, but I feel like for $400 a month, I'm basically buying a CRM, and maybe I do like the marketing that I could spend $100 a month, and because I have listing to leads, which I think is terrible, and I'm going to cancel.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out as a single agent, your scheduled time. I'm in Texas, so we have an hour difference. Mm-hmm. So I have missed some because I go to log on, and the one that I wanted to join in is not at the right time that it's advertised for me. And then I have a child, and the one that was sick, and things get in the way, and listing appointments. I mean, so phone duty in the office. So I'm having a hard time kind of doing everything, and I don't have a person that can reschedule me or do anything. And In 2 weeks, my month is up.
Well, I can do this for you, Diane. I'm really glad you're on here today. I want to make sure that if in the future you have any trouble, going to rensupport.com is by far the best way to reach us, because if for whatever reason someone's not available, someone's out sick, someone doesn't work here, all of those get forwarded on to me directly. So I can make sure that if something ever happens, I can get anyone rescheduled. And what I can do for today is let me grab one of my coordinators once we hang up on this call here, and then they can reach out to you, find a time that works, and then we can get a walkthrough done with you of all of the different features you have access to and make sure that you're taking advantage of the entire system.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like I'm definitely missing out on that.
Sure.
So I've had something similar, not with all the different moving pieces, but I had sent an email to support, and I completely forgot about it because I got busy getting ready for my trip. And the next thing I know, while I'm away, I see a response, and it was like 2.5 weeks later. Like, why did it take so long for somebody to respond to my request?
So usually
You know,
we'll send a
I
couple of
know you guys
responses
are
there.
busy, but
I was gonna say, Jeff, I see a couple of responses in there. What I always want to make sure you do is if you don't hear back from us within 48 hours, make sure you're also checking your spam folder. Sometimes when we're reaching out to a brokerage owned email address or something along those lines, we do end up going to spam, mostly because if companies like us do reach out to agent emails, usually to try to sell them something, not always to try to help them. So once in a while, it will end up in spam. But I would say for the most part, our system automatically will send out what we call a red alert if something is not responded to within 48 hours. So you should always be expecting 48 hours or less to get a response back for tickets and or a resolution sent to you on what to do next.
so I can do the same thing Diane's going to do and reach out for a like a walkthrough of all the tools that we've got access to.
Absolutely. And if you ever need more immediate help, like sooner than the 48 hours, all of our training schedules are right on here. They are in Eastern time. So that's going to be something to always keep in mind. We're up here in New York, so we tend to do everything in our own time zone. But for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 o'clock, I'm always available to do the live tech training. So like tomorrow, if you need help in advance of any kind of ticket getting scheduled or a call being scheduled, we will be available from 11:15 to 12:15 there to walk anybody through all of the different pieces. So even if we're not available immediately through support, we want to make sure we're available to you on these types of meetings as well.
I do have to say you guys are very comprehensive and the training's fantastic. And you know, I've been in the business a long time, but I'm still learning. I spent most of my time in commercial. So.
Oh, really? Wow. Going from commercial to residential is definitely a big change. And pretty much what people compare us to is, of course, getting hit with the fire hose of information. We are just giving you the keys to every single marketing technique we've picked up over the last 10 years. And so the reason we do provide these trainings is so that while we're learning them along the way, we can all do them together, so that you don't feel like you just have to read a book and know how to implement it. We, of course, plan to have you guys looking things over in advance, but we always want to be here to help along the way as well, getting those different pieces implemented.
Can you do one thing for me? Can we go to the Facebook page, or show me which Facebook page and show me where the playback to these sessions are?
Yes. So let me go ahead and get that pulled up.
And then I'll shut it up and let somebody else talk.
And
No, you're good, Jeffrey. Me and you have the same questions. We're good.
I was going to say, usually if someone has a question, there's
Diane.
somebody else who has the same one. So not a problem at all. And Patty, I see your message in the chat here. I will make sure that you are added to the list as well. So this is the community right here. Facebook Ren Success Community is the ending piece here. And as you can see, we are live in here right now. It's a little bit of a delay, but that's because we're streaming from Zoom all the way over here. And if you guys would like, what I can do is drop this in the chat. So if anyone does not have immediate access to it, you can easily join right through here. And each day we go live, we will always have the recaps and all the different pieces stored in here too. So you'll be able to see those happening. And then they're also going to be added to the dashboard inside of the Sales Academy to make sure that we can go through there as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you're putting a Facebook link in the right in the Rent app,
Yes, so if you go to the chat over here
right?
on the Zoom meeting, you can just simply click on this right there and it'll give you an option to join, or if you're already a member, it'll just let you right in.
Okay, right.
Perfect. So I know we wanted to cover a little bit more on the prospecting side. These are great questions, by the way, everyone. I really appreciate you guys jumping on here in the first place. And then, of course, I want to make sure you're getting off to a fast start to be able to make the prospecting calls. And I know getting access to the systems and knowing how to use them is a big part of that. But let's see if we can do one more type of call here before we get to the end of the meeting. And Anna, I know I've seen you on here for a minute. Was there a certain type of call or a certain type of lead we can look over or talk through for you that you wanted to cover today?
Or any objection you're going through, right? Anything like that?
Objections as well.
Because I know Diane said she was coming across the people wanting to wait to sell. Does that sound right, Diane? Like waiting until the upcoming spring market?
Yeah, they're thinking about it. I have a lot of people, if you had a funnel, that top of the funnel, I have a lot of people that are taking a long time to get ready.
Okay.
Definitely. We actually had an agent on here yesterday talking about, she was in Central Florida, and pretty much her number one objection she's running into right now is I want to wait till after the holidays. I want to wait till the spring market, so on and so forth. And Mike, do you remember some of the different objection handlers she had there? I thought those were really good.
Yeah, it was something as simple as the home's going to be in the best shape possible around the holidays. You're going to be showing it to so many people. Why not, show the property to a realtor? And then I'm trying to remember what the other one was.
The other one was in most communities around the holidays, you get a lot of traffic, a lot of people going to certain people's houses, filling up the driveways, filling up the yards. And I would have to say, having a sign in the yard for a house that's for sale with that many people driving by it, there are very few other times you're going to have that much exposure to that many different people. And it goes back to what Jeff said at the beginning here. A lot of millennials are relying on their family to help point them in the direction of where they should be living, and maybe communities where they live in the same area. Well, hey, if you're having a holiday party and your neighbor's selling their house, you have 25 people coming over. All of a sudden, you have 25 people who now are aware of a home for sale and have their family member telling them how great the neighborhood is, how great the neighbors are. Nobody's going to sit there and talk to them about how much they don't like the house they probably recently purchased or the house they've been living in. It's a great way to get extra exposure, not waiting until the spring market to actually list. And there's a ton of benefits of doing it a bit earlier. The house shows really well. It's going to be very clean with the holidays coming up, very well decorated, tons of traffic going by, tons of people seeing and exposing the property to everyone in the neighborhood. And then the third piece was going to be, and I'm trying to remember what it was there, Mike.
Something along the lines of just trying to get it prepared to sell sooner rather than later before the upcoming spring market competition spike.
The competition spike. Being the one of 3 houses for sale in a neighborhood is a huge difference being 1 in 30 houses for sale. You're spreading a lot of buyers out into a lot of different areas when you're competing with everyone else listing in the spring market. If we're talking to most people throwing that objection at us, not very many people are going to overcome it. And so what we've seen is when you wait until the spring market, your pool of buyers does get a bit bigger, but also your competition between other homes, bigger, nicer, maybe different featured homes, your competition goes through the roof as well. So it was a combination of those 3 factors. Your home shows really well over the holidays. You're going to have a ton of exposure for the property, and you're going to have less competition and usually about the same pool of buyers. Buyers aren't waiting for the spring market. Buyers are ready to buy when they have the opportunity. So you have a very unique situation over the holidays to be able to maybe get a little bit more and pretty much a lot of really great benefits of listing your home before the spring market there. And we had a really great dialogue on that yesterday with a couple agents running into, sounds like one of the similar things you are, Diane.
Yeah, I love it. I have a question though, a newbie question. This is my first Christmas selling houses. So,
Oh,
Cool.
Oh, Dan, I think we lost your audio there. Doesn't look like you're muted. I'm not sure what's going on there. Can you hear our mic?
No, you
No.
muted for a minute.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. We can hear you now.
Oh, so for Christmas, people decorate with their tree. Am I taking photos of the house decorated like Christmas and putting it on the MLS?
Well, what I would say is, what is your average day on market right now, Diane?
Anywhere from, I have one coming that'll be a weekend to 60 days if you overprice it. Because it'll still sell overpriced, but 60 days.
If you put your tree up at the day after Thanksgiving, chances are that home's going to be sold far before the holiday season is over.
Oh,
And
you're right. Okay.
so I would say, unless it's the day, I mean, honestly, we do have agents who are listing properties. We are open usually until Christmas Eve. We usually do a half day. We are still helping agents do work on Christmas Eve. And a lot of them are promoting homes that are with the tree up and everything there. And it's never been a problem because really at the end of the day, people love showing off their home over the holidays. And if you can see a home and show your friends, look what I just bought, and it looks so beautiful, all set up like that. The one thing you don't want to do is have too many of the previous owner's personal fixtures in there. Of course,
Yeah.
you want it to be more of this could be your home. But yes, absolutely. Putting it with a tree in there, not a problem at all. People are in the festive spirit and they understand these aren't old pictures. These must be relevant because they were just recently taken because we're in the holiday. And we have not seen any negativity coming back from having those types of pictures posted to the MLS.
Okay, thank you.
And it makes the home look larger if you got a massive tree in there and it looks
Also
beautiful inside it. It makes it look more spacious as well.
Definitely. So that's another option for you right there. And I think that's a really good objection, not waiting till the spring market. And another option for you there, and this goes with just about any type of lead. A lot of people think that when they're listing a home, and maybe it's for the first time, or maybe, well, there were markets that were different in the past, that the agent just comes over, slaps a sign in the yard, and it's ready to go. They don't realize there's a lot of, well, at times, work and effort that goes into making sure that the home is ready to be shown. So even if someone wants to wait till the spring market, letting them know, why don't I come over, do a review with you of the home, pull some comps in the area, and come up with a game plan of exactly what we need to do to get this home on the market January 1st. And then once your foot is in the door, you have a lot more conviction and a lot more sway with that homeowner when you're standing across from them and walking through their house than you ever will over the phone. So even just getting them to agree to what we call a discovery meeting can get your foot in the door enough where you can actually be in a position to have the conversation you need to have to sit down and actually list the property and work through the objections we were just talking about there in person, which they're going to be a lot more receptive to because everybody over the phone can just always put it down or get easily distracted. When you're sitting across from them, it's a lot harder to just walk away from a conversation.
Right.
All right, well, that was an awesome example there, Diane. And then Patty, I know I saw you in the chat there. Was there any type of lead that you wanted to come here and talk about at all, or any questions or objections we can go over in the last 5 to 10 minutes here?
I'm good.
Okay. Everybody's
Okay.
got to ask one question.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, if you have a question. And Patty, what type of leads are you prioritizing right now in your database? Are you working mostly referrals, sphere of influence, past client? Do you have some online lead gen, for sale by owner expired?
I have Zero for subway owners and my database.
Okay. And how have the for sale by owners been treating you so far? Are you running into any common objections with them, or are they easier to work with, harder to work with? What does that look like?
I mean, it's a numbers game. So,
Okay.
you know, some are good and then some are not. So you just have to go with the ones that are receptive.
Definitely. And what we've experienced in the past is a lot of these for sale by owners love to list their home far, far, far above what the house might be worth. Is that
Yes.
your guys' experience as well?
Yes.
Well, not for me, I wouldn't do it, but
Well, I was going to say, Patty, that is the well, we always hope what to hear is that we would not let them dictate the price for it. Cause I can promise you that with everyone down here is, I mean, if you're brand new, if you've been doing this for 30 years, you still have way more experience and way more knowledge of the marketplace than a for sale by owner will ever have. So it's definitely good to always have the conversation about listing the price. But Patty, if you don't mind sharing, how do you approach that type of conversation with one where
know,
they're trying to list the house way, way above where it should be?
I guess I'm really sure about the comps, and I really explain the comps, and I really show them the comps that are the same as their property, and that if they're not willing to be somewhat reasonable with the price, they're not going to get the price that they want. So, I mean, I've been selling houses for more than 30 years, so I'm not willing to go with something that is going to be super difficult with the people, and then it's not going to sell. So I'm only interested in properties that are going to sell.
Definitely. Not making
have
that
you-
compromise is so important.
Patty, have you like go in and say, look, we'll do it your way, but if we don't get an offer, if we have no showings or no offers in the first,
You know, I'm sorry,
into that.
breaking your voice
You
is
don't-
breaking up.
Okay, how about now?
That was a bit
Can you hear me,
better.
Patty?
Try
It's a little
again.
better.
Okay, I was asking you if you go into the situation, if you've got a seller that's so insistent on listing it at their price, without losing the listing, can you get them to buy into the fact that if you have no showings and no offers within the first 2 weeks, that you lower the price by 10,000, 20,000, whatever you get?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, if they're willing and if they're motivated and I know that they have a reason to sell, I mean, I'm certainly not going to walk away from something that I think can sell, because in this market, sometimes things sell when we don't think they're going to sell. But if it's crazy, I'm not, because in the end, if it's crazy, they're going to end up mad at me. And I don't really prefer that. So I would just prefer to, at least if they're reasonable, then absolutely, yes, I'm going to take it. I'm going to say, okay, in 2 weeks, we're going to need to adjust it.
And you get them to sign an agreement. So, it's not like, oh, I don't remember saying that. Well, you signed this.
Not always. I don't always make them sign it, to be honest. I take people at their word. And if I have a good feel about the people, that they're honest and that they are going to be willing to work with me and be reasonable, I think you can tell about people if they're going to be reasonable or not.
No.
Yeah, this isn't meant to be scare tactics for a FISBO, but a lot of them don't realize that they have to fill out disclosures. At least in Maryland, they do, and that there's a lot of exposure and liability if they do it, or if they don't do it. So, without threatening them, I'm kind of like getting the thought in their head. Well, geez, is it really worth saving the commission to have a much larger liability on my hands? I think
guess
if you talk with a little bit of confidence, then
Yeah, I guess I'm the philosophy of you
Somebody-
have to build rapport and they have to trust you, and you have to be there for them to answer questions and know that these are the things that they need to do. And if they really want to sell. Now, if they're just out there in land of it's never happening, then let them go. That's my philosophy. If they're out there in the land of it's 100, 200,000 above what it's really gonna sell for, just let it go. Don't worry yourself over that. Go find people that are realistic.
I
Go find
would
people
probably
that are
say
realistic.
anywhere from, my rule is probably somewhere between 20 and 30,000, because I know I can work the price down, but I totally agree with you on the other one.
It all depends on the price range. So if the price range is, a lower price range, then yes, 10, 20, 30,000. If the price range is, over $1 million, then maybe you have some more flexibility.
Love it. And out of curiosity, Patty, I'd love to know, have you ever used a net sheet in the past when working with for sale by owners? I know that's a strategy we've implemented recently, and it's had great deals of success.
Every time,
Every time. I was
Every
going to say, I
time.
think that might be the secret. And Diane and Jeffrey, are you guys using a net sheet? Are you familiar with what that looks like?
Oh, yeah. Numbers don't lie. So,
And that's a huge thing. I mean, a lot of the time, the for sale by owner, yeah, sure, they have every excuse under the sun of why they're selling on their own, but really it's to save money. They want more money, and that's why they're listing it way higher than they should, and that's why they're trying not to pay anybody a commission along the way. But with a net sheet showing them that, hey, regardless of the numbers, if you net this much money when it closes, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who sells it or how much it sells for if you're still making the bottom line that you're looking for. And I know that's one of our prospectors' favorite lines and one of the most effective lines, because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. If you can show them that they're going to make a big profit working with you and you have a game plan in place, which, I mean, again, if you've been an agent for a year, or Diane or Patty, where you've been 30 plus years, being able to show them the value of working with you and then having that net sheet to back up. And Jeff, as you said, numbers don't lie. I think that's the secret to really converting on the for sale by owners. And I mean, getting them to agree to a realistic price in advance, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of multiple offer situations that happen, but in order to have that, you have to have an approachable pretty much price for the home to even get the interest of the people around you.
I've called some for sale by owner, and the one guy kept telling me the reason he priced it that much is because he looked up if you got a mortgage, he knew how much you would pay for your mortgage. So that's the price. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. It has to be appraised. I didn't do a net sheet, but we went round and round, and I had no success with any FSBOs. And the truth is, I thought they stink. And I just stopped calling them. That's why I wanted to have the Red X call and listen to what Red X had to say, because I like calling people. It's kind of like a good game to see if I can get, one yes, and then I can go pick up my daughter from school. So I don't mind calling and I don't mind talking to them, but I thought those FSBOs need to be left alone. Unless you can take it better.
They are definitely a different breed, I will tell you that. But there is a way to do it along the way. And something I've found working with a few different agents around the country, we have seen there is a way to trick Zillow, or Zillow has a strategy to kind of trick people into thinking their house is worth a lot more than it actually is.
Yes.
Something you might notice is a Zestimate will change consistently. And one of the major factors of Zestimate is how much traffic it's receiving online. For example, if you send out an email to your geographical area and 50 to 100 people out of the 1,000 people you send it to click on that Zestimate, it will go up by thousands of dollars because it's showing that this is a desirable home in the community. That's why so many people are looking at it. What we've seen, so many people are looking at for sale by owners online. The Zestimate creeps on up there because there's a lot of people looking at it, aka a lot of agents as well, calling, and there's a lot of traction with this property. So Zillow is under the impression that this must be worth so much more. And then the Zestimate reflects the unrealistic price from traffic that's not really there to be interested in purchasing the home.
Okay.
So it's something that we have to overcome, but also you have a property going live online. You can get a little bit of extra promotion. You drive some people to that page where your listing is being promoted. All of a sudden, the Zestimate for your listing can go up as well. And if you can get some extra people going there, some extra attention on it, of just people clicking on the link, nothing more. They don't have to call, they don't have to text, they don't even have to interact with it. But if you can drive traffic to that page, the Zestimate for your listing will go up higher, higher, and higher, and more people will be naturally drawn to it because it's going to be looked at as a property that is trending online. So it's a good little way where we have to fight Zillow on some of it, but we can also take advantage of their system and their formula as well.
Good to know. My next email for my listing, I'll attach the Zillow link.
check out the Zestimate on this one and guess how many people will click on it just to see what it is. And just keep an eye on it from one day to another. It might go up $3,000 to $5,000. It might go up 10 to 15 if you have enough people going there. And it's very interesting how it'll change on a regular basis. And it makes the homeowners feel great. Wow, look how I listed with this agent and the next day my house went up 10 grand in value. It's a really good, unique value that you bring to the table that a lot of other agents, A, don't know about, and B, just don't want to take the time to really take advantage of. So it's little tips and tricks like that that can make a big difference.
Do you have the link to the net sheet?
I was going to say what I can do, Diane, is when they reach out to you to do the check-in call, I'll actually have a copy of the one that we use. And that way we can go over it with you and make sure that you have a copy of what we have, and then you can make any modifications to it to match yours as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning.
Hey, well, we'll be able to provide you with a ton of information to help with that learning curve. And I was gonna say, I think when you have this call to follow up, not only will the REDX help you get going, but the social coach and the other pieces of the system, when you're firing on all cylinders, it's like someone opened the floodgates. So I'll make sure we get that taken care of for everybody that's on here to make sure you guys are getting full advantage of everything we're doing here.
Thank you.
Just back up for 1 second. Are we sending you an email directly if we want to sign up for a little bit of an overview, or are we doing it through the support email?
rensupport.com, or if you want to talk with me directly tomorrow at 11 o'clock, jump right onto that live training. I'll always be available on there. And then if necessary, I can do a one-on-one with anybody as well after that. I just have to make sure I get it booked in my calendar so that I don't get pulled in a different direction.
Okay, great.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, we are at the 2:15 time block. I got to get Mike and Tracy and our other ISAs back on the phone here. I really appreciate everyone jumping on. These were some great questions. I really hope that everybody got a little something out of this. And then Patty, Diane, and Jeff, you're going to be hearing from somebody on my team before the end of the day today to make sure we get next steps scheduled for you. Hopefully, I'll see some of you on our live tech training tomorrow. We can review anything that you would like on the technology side of things. We'll jump right into it. And then just before we wrap up, any last minute questions, anything anybody else wants to cover before we end it for today?
All right.
Okay. Well, hey guys, it's been great talking to all of you. And if you need anything else, again, rensupport.com, and we'll be in touch with you very, very soon.
See you guys.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Mike.
Bye, guys.
You better.